Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're a beautiful crowd.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Comedy Cellar Tuesdays with me, Dave Juskow, and the lovely Mike Suarez. So nice to see everybody. I feel like this isn't the best view of all time. I am talking to you from an undisclosed location. All right, I'm in New Jersey. I'm at a hotel room. I wasn't sure if this was going to work. The last time I did this remotely off a laptop, I was in California, and Alon was hosting, and it was a disaster. Mike, do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was like 2 years ago. I got a better computer, but as if you've listened to my podcast, which I took down recently, you would know that I just have so much problems with this brand new computer that it just keeps restarting. But hopefully between the hotel Wi-Fi, it is a Japanese establishment. I mean, this Wi-Fi should be the best, right? They have a Toto toilet. It was delightful. Everybody should get one for their home. Anyway, between that, everything, and the computer, and I bought the microphone that's always in my car in case I have to do an immediate podcast. Hopefully everything will hold out today because we have an incredible guest that we bring on. We can actually bring him on multiple times because he is a delight, but we always bring him on once a year. But I think we have to remedy that because I didn't know he lived in Manhattan, which is so easy. But please welcome our friend, Rob Tannenbaum.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, Rob.
How are you?
I'm okay. It's nice to see you. Rob is a journalist. He's not just a music journalist, which he has done and written books about music and MTV. And I'll explain that in a second. But we love bringing him on when we are indeed going to do our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame picks, because we love doing picks on this show, whether they be football or the Oscars, which we did last week, which I won. We just like, playing games on the show and having a good time. So thank you for joining us. But yeah, you should come on one time when we're live in the studio. It's just Mike never gets back to Manhattan anymore because flying stinks.
Well, I don't travel much. I very rarely leave the apartment. And my wife said to me, do you think you're agoraphobic? Are you developing social anxieties? And I thought about it and I realized, no, it's the Toto toilet. I'm
Wait, do you have one?
terrified. Yes. Oh, God, yes.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, my Lord. Are you kidding me?
What a game changer.
Do we, how deep, no pun intended, do we want to get into this? It's the spray. The spray is magnificent. I'm terrified that one day I might have to poop somewhere else.
That's the problem. It's like when I started using, when my friend told me about baby wipes, I couldn't really go anywhere without them. And then I guess, I know Sarah Silverman hooked one up to her toilet, which I never used because it seemed a little scary because there was all these devices attached to the toilet and it freaks you out a little at first until when I finally went to a hotel, which seems even worse because so many people are using it. But then I realized, wow.
Did you ever figure out the hard way that you have the water set too hot? Did you ever scald your butthole? Really is what I'm asking.
No, I haven't had that pleasure yet. In fact, I'd like to make it a little hotter. But right now I'm always worried I don't have it set to the right setting where it's going to hit another place besides where I need it to. And I swear I was using it today and I knew this hotel had it. It's one of the reasons I like staying here. And I really thought I was going to orgasm at one point because it's that good. I don't know how to explain it if you've ever used it before. Hello, a week late. Hello, Aunt Judy. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining the chat. You know, we have people in the chat room that are joining our show.
I can't see them, right?
I think you can. That's why I actually made my screen smaller because I wanted to see the chats. I'd read it when I was bigger.
Comments.
Mike, he can see them, right? It's not just for me and you, right?
Got it.
Yeah. But Mike usually, if something is really groovy, he usually puts it up on screen. Okay. So it's see, there's Aunt Judy. That's my actual Aunt Judy. So nice to see her. And of course, everybody, happy Pesach and happy Easter for all the holidays are coming up. The not as fun holidays as Christmas and I would say Hanukkah, but that was only put in because people would convert if you were Jewish and couldn't get presents the way no kid would ever want to. I mean, nobody wants to be Jewish anyway, but that would be a game changer for sure if they didn't make Hanukkah a gift-giving holiday to coincide at least with Christmas. I mean, I remember growing up and the kids like, well, you know, what'd you get today? And I mean, it just sounded like so much fun to get a whole bunch of gifts in one day, because we all know, any Jew knows that for Hanukkah, you got crappy gifts for 7 days and one big present, socks, you know, always. Or as David tells you, say, one year he got he used to get a one present in 8 pieces, and he was glad he didn't ask for a puppy. That's a very old Attell joke, like almost 40 years old, but classic.
If you were trying to design a religion that no one would want to join, you'd probably start with you can't eat bacon. That's when we lost people.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. So Aunt Judy could tell you, you know, she eats bacon, we eat bacon. My mother, when we first were born, we ate bacon. And then she took it away when we were 8, which is the worst thing, because somebody got to her, one of her friends, you don't keep a kosher house? And she's like, why should I? And, you know, one of her horrible neighbors that I always hated, you know, got to her, and all of a sudden we were kosher. And now I'm afraid to cook anything that's not kosher. Like in my house, I still do it. I don't know why. So when I make a lasagna, I use those Morningstar Farms vegetarian sausages because I'm afraid to mix meat and cheese. It's ridiculous. But when I'm out, I'm having bacon.
Good.
Because it's fantastic.
My
friend Alon Altman, I don't know if you know him.
No.
No, what were you saying?
I was just going to say, I think you pissed off Aunt Judy.
What were you going to say?
Aunt Judy's angry.
Oh, well, she's just angry that I was mentioning the gifts, but I wasn't. Aunt Judy always gave great gifts. That's true, Andrew. But Aunt Judy only had to bring one. So, you know, that's usually easy to do. But she did give good gifts. But, yeah, Alon Altman is our friend. He's a comedian, and he's never tried bacon because he is kosher. He still is. Plus, our friend Alon, I'm telling all of you who sometimes hosts this show, he is going to open for Modi in Radio City Music Hall.
Oh, wow.
On April 24th and the 30th. It's very impressive.
Yes.
You know, I'm very happy for him. You know, Radio City.
That's a big gig, yeah.
So, Rob, what else? What else are you writing for these days?
Well, you know, pretty much all the places I used to write have gone out of business, or they're using AI, or even worse, they're using 22-year-olds who, you know, will happily write 18 pieces a week for 1/10 of the money. So I write a lot for the New York Times and a lot for the AARP magazine, and working on a couple of books.
Are you friends with Steve Perrine?
I know Steve.
At AARP?
Yeah.
I've been writing.
He's assigned me some things.
Yeah, me too. For the Arrow, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Arrow
went
no
to college
longer
together.
exists.
Oh, it
They- they-
doesn't.
Yeah, they shuttered it. But the magazine and the weekly bulletin still exist.
He used to. That's why I used to write for Maxim, which maybe you did too, because we
Oh,
went
yeah.
to college together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I worked
Yeah.
at Blender, which was Maxim's.
yeah, he always
brother
comes out of
publication.
nowhere and has me write something. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Who else worked there with this guy? Eric Simon. I don't know if you know him.
Rings a bell, but maybe just because it's a Jewish name.
But yeah, that's right. But those were the highlight days in those late '90s, early 2000s. Maxim was the one you wanted to write for, right? Wasn't it exciting?
It was a lot of fun. Yeah,
It was like writing for Playboy in the '60s. Yeah,
probably.
yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, right. I mean, it was without the nudity, so you didn't feel bad having your mom read it or something. But well, I guess we should get started on this. I have my PowerPoint presentation ready.
Oh, wow.
We were talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rob and I have already discussed that we're not, over the moon about some of these nominees, but therein lies the fun. There's a lot of them too. Do you think this is the first year they've had so many? I think there's about 17.
There's kind of a sea change going on there. But I think, first of all, you and I agree that this year was very mid. There are simultaneously only a couple of groups I'm super enthusiastic about, and only a couple that I hate. So it's a lot in the middle ground. And one thing that they changed this year is you have to vote for 7 of the nominees. I think they feel that, especially now as we're getting deeper into rock history, and to be eligible, it has to be at least 25 years since your first recording. So we're talking about 2001. There isn't a whole lot, and now I'm going to sound like an old guy, which I am. There isn't a whole lot of great music.
No, it's true. I hadn't even thought about that.
So
yeah,
they're running out of the major, no doubt. I don't mean No Doubt the band, but like the obvious choices. Yeah. There aren't a lot of obvious choices left, and so they want to have more people get in. And I am in favor of that. There should be more people in the Rock Hall.
Yeah. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. It didn't even occur to me that 25 years ago was 2001 and they're running out of. That's a good point. That's so interesting.
So you look.
All right, Mike, I'm going to share my screen. What were you saying? You can talk while I'm sharing.
I've already forgotten. Sorry.
Oh. Well, can you see the show? Can you see the Rolling Stones up there?
Sure can.
Oh, good. Right. So there are our players today. Everybody, there's not a lot of people in the chat room today, but that's okay. We fill it out later so we see who wins, because people sometimes watch after the fact. Mike, you're all set to go too?
Yep.
All right. So this is Rob's book, by the way, one of his books. I Want My MTV, The Uncensored Story, the Music Video Revolution. It's in, it's just so weird that nobody knows what MTV is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it was so important in our lives.
I had a professor at SVA who asked me to come talk to her class about MTV and its relevance in the modern era. And this was last year. And I said, raise your hand if you watched MTV last night. Crickets. Raise your hand if you watched it in the last week, in the last month, in the last year. I think maybe 2 people kind of raised their hands.
We lost you. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. If you watched MTV, oh, you're going right.
MTV was the singularity. That's what everybody did after school. No, not anymore. Nobody watches it now. I mean, I shouldn't. It's like the old Yogi Berra joke.
Actually,
I think Dave froze for a second.
Oh, I froze?
Yeah, well, you stopped. You interjected, then you stopped talking.
Oh, I was waiting for him to tell the joke, so I don't know whether I'm.
Sorry, the Yogi Berra joke. The restaurant's too crowded. Nobody goes there anymore. Like obviously MTV's still on the air. There are some people who watch it, but it's certainly.
I watch it when The Big Bang Theory's on. It's not music.
Yeah.
It's so messed up. Oh well. So this is the lineup from the last 3 years. As you can see, Rob won last year. You guys in the chat room won the year before, and Mike won in 2023. So right. I've never won the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame show. But we will make our picks. Rob says we have to choose about 7. That's about right, I guess. Choose 7. We don't, we never know whether we're going to do it, but I'll even them out when we get, and I'll talk to everybody. So you have to take 1 out or 1 in. So we at least have 7 or 8 and even out what we have. So let's begin with Mariah Carey and her 3rd opportunity to get in. The Juskow seal of approval says, oh, God, already. Let it go or let her in. What is happening? Make up your mind already. This is the 3rd time Mariah Carey is an icon. I'm going to say she's out because if they haven't let her in already, I don't think it's going to work. Rob, what do you think?
So we're predicting, this isn't personal preference, right? This is who's going to get in, who isn't going to get in.
That's correct.
I think she won't get in, and I think it's some stinking hypocrisy, because what the Hall really values is great singers, especially great singers who write their own music. And she is a great singer. She might not be my favorite singer. You can say that her singing style is not appealing to you, and that's valid. But just on any reasonable basis, she is an incredible singer, and she writes her own music. Problem is, she's a pop star. And although there are pop stars in the Rock Hall, there still is sort of this hardline vote that says, if you're not rock and roll, then we're not going to vote for you the first year, second year, or third year. I think she gets in. I just think she doesn't get in this year.
Oh, I see. That's weird. I mean, they're letting so many, at this point, I've always made a case they're not rock and roll, but they're obviously letting more and more people in that aren't rock and roll. Yeah. And if you write the greatest Christmas song of all time, it should be in somehow. Mike,
Irving
your thoughts?
Berlin.
Right, exactly. Mike?
I think out as well.
Yep. And we'll let that go and find out next week. We'll talk to Marcy or whoever, if anybody chimes in. Here's the Black Crowes. Just got a seal of approval. Can't stand the Black Crowes. And this is their 2nd time around. If they didn't get in the first time, I don't see him getting in this time.
Yeah.
I mean, they are rock and roll. I don't care for them. I like that one of them was dating Kate Hudson, but that's where it ends for me. Rob, your thoughts?
My thought is Southern rock died in October 1977 when Lynyrd Skynyrd's plane crashed. After that, everything else was just a simulation or an imitation. I would no sooner vote for the Black Crowes than I would for the Rossington Collins Band. Their second best known song is a Otis Redding cover. I mean, come on. How unoriginal can you possibly get?
Yeah, right.
But I'm going to say
they get out.
Well,
you're going to say they get in?
I didn't vote for them, but I think they will get in.
Oh.
Here's Mike, something to keep in mind when you're making predictions about the Rock Hall. It's important to remember that this is a TV broadcast. The TV broadcast is what largely funds the Rock Hall year round. So if they have a TV show that doesn't get good ratings, then the Rock Hall can't continue because they're not going to continue to have a TV network deal. So they need big names, and not just big names, but mainstream names of, the kind of young men who are apt to watch the Rock Hall induction ceremony. I don't think Mariah Carey fans watch it. They'll watch it if she's on it, but I think your average Black Crowes fan is probably the kind of person who watches it every year.
I like your thinking. Mike?
I'm gonna say out.
He's gonna say
Why?
out.
I just don't think they're gonna go in this year. I don't have a stronger reason.
I thought maybe you hated Kate Hudson.
Oh no, I have no problem with Kate Hudson.
Yeah, nobody hates Kate Hudson. I just don't care for her. I don't know why. I think she's pretty. That's something, huh? How are ya? All right. I don't know who the fuck this guy is, which is why I'm saying, what the fuck are we doing? Who's Jeff Buckley? I don't know him. I gotta say out. Rob, who is this guy? Never heard of him.
Jeff Buckley is a tremendously talented singer-songwriter who got his start at Cafe Chenet in the East Village. I don't know if you ever went there, Dave. He used to play there, I think, on a weekly basis. And he made one album for Columbia. And then not too long after it was released, he drowned in the river in Memphis recording his second album. He
Like he drowned, like literally he's dead.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh.
If he isn't, he smells pretty bad because this was years ago.
I see a Buckley in and I see a Buckley out. I saw the first thing and I put out.
But
Mike,
you might know
if
his
anybody else
dad.
chimes in.
His dad is Tim Buckley, the singer-songwriter.
No, I know William F. Buckley.
He's already in.
Who's Tim Buckley?
Tim Buckley is a revered singer-songwriter of the, I think, late 60s, early 70s, who made half a dozen albums that didn't sell. He was not much of a father to Jeff, and for a lot of his career, Jeff tried to get out of his father's shadow, which was a little difficult because just naturally they had very similar voices. But it's hard to induct somebody who finished only one album, but Buckley was an astounding singer, like on an Eddie Vedder level. And I'm not a gigantic Pearl Jam fan, but I acknowledge that Eddie Vedder has an extraordinary voice, and so did Buckley.
So what are you saying?
Oh boy. Well, it's hard because I don't want to shoot all my bullets.
I know.
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say in.
It's funny. I might change my mind because of what you just said, but I'll keep my out for now. But I like what you're saying, Mike. What do you think?
I was gonna say in because he's dead.
Yeah. Right. They like to nominate one dead person. That's the thing. All right. Billy Idol just got seal of approval. Says, I mean, why didn't he get in the first time? I'm like sitting there going, like, what's going on here? He's how does he not get in? Before I vote, Rob, tell me, why didn't he get in the first time? He should be in.
Well, the knock on him is that he was a one-hit wonder. And I've actually seen or heard two different conversations about the Rock Hall where somebody said, he's a one-hit wonder. So I looked it up. He had 13 singles in the Hot 100, 9 of which were in the top 40.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who said he was a one-hit wonder?
I'm not going to name names. Actually, one of it was on the Howard Stern show. Howard Stern said it. 4 songs
Howard
in the top 10.
Stern said it?
Yeah. Yeah, he said, I'm not voting for him. He's a one-hit wonder.
That's weird. That's anybody that grew up. I mean, I assume we're about the same age. Me and Billy Idol. I'm saying, I mean, he was great, and he rocked.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, he was big, and also he had a very nice comeback in The Wedding Singer. I mean, the versatility is impressive.
Well, also he was good with that. What was that guy, Steve Stevens? That is guitarist, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a
Best
good
hair in
combo.
rock
I
and
don't
roll.
understand. Yeah. So what do you think? Is he going to be in or out?
I think he gets in next year, not this year.
Next. Oh, that's interesting. Boy, that's tough then. If you think he's out, I want him to be in. Yeah, right. Great videos.
Yeah.
Jay, the massage therapist. Geez, Mike, you go next.
I want to say in.
See, if this was his first one, which I'm sure I said last year he'd be in, and I was surprised he was out. I'm gonna go in. I don't know. What is is anybody talking in the other? And I'll change. I saw you guys also both in and the other one, so I'll change that. But nobody said
No,
anything for
I'm
Billy Idol yet.
Not yet.
What?
Not
Okay.
yet.
Yeah, I got you. So Joy Division, I can tell you right now, I'm going out. This is the third time. Clearly, nobody wants them in. That's what I'm saying. Here, the Just Got Seal of Approval is like, come on, this is ridiculous already. What's happening? Why do they even keep putting them up there? Nobody wants them in. Nobody sees them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rob, what do you think?
I want them in.
You do?
So I should explain that. Anyone can go online and vote, right? It's the public poll, but that counts for only one vote. There are about 1,000 people who are sent individual ballots, and their votes comprise almost the entirety of the voting. I've been.
That's what I thought.
voter.
I didn't think the fan vote counted for anything.
It doesn't really. It's a publicity stunt. I've been a voter for probably about 20 years. I rarely have been as unenthusiastic about a ballot as this one, but for me, Joy Division was the first no-brainer.
Really?
I don't even know what to say about them. The songs are incredible. They've stood the test of time. They had an incredibly daring and innovative sound from their producer, Martin Hannett, who was a reggae freak. And these are dark songs, and they weren't screwing around. These songs are real. The man hung himself. The singer, Ian Curtis, hung himself just before leaving on their first U.S. tour.
What's more rock and roll than that?
By the way, tickets for that first show, right? The first show they were going to play that was canceled because he had killed himself. Those tickets go on eBay for just a lot of money as souvenirs, like grim, macabre souvenirs.
Eric, I will note your vote. All right, Rob, what do you think then? This the third time's a charm or what?
I'm going to say that they get in, but I acknowledge it's a sentimental reaction. I think they belong in. I think eventually people will say, what the hell? Let's just put them in already. So yeah, I say yes.
More like not so much Joy Division. That's funny. Mike, what do you think?
I want them to be. I don't think they're going to be voted in, though.
You're probably right.
You're saying out.
I'm saying out.
Okay. All right. Well done. Let's move on to Phil Collins. The Just Got Seal of Approval on this one. His incredibly hot daughter, Emily in Paris. Yes, in. He's got to go in. He's got to go in. Not just because of the daughter. He's a living legend. He's in two bands. He was good by himself. I say he gets in on the first ballot. He should get in on the first ballot. He's who you were talking about when you're saying 25 years ago, 2001. This guy is the callback from what we needed. Rob, what do you think?
I think he doesn't get in because he's already in with Genesis.
I know, but
I don't think the Rock Hall is going to make him one of the few performers who's in as a solo artist and a band member. That's
Is Joe Walsh one of those people?
I don't know. I mean, obviously the Eagles are in. I
I wasn't
don't
sure if
think,
he got in separately.
I don't think the James Gang got in, and I don't think that he is in as a solo performer.
So who are a couple people that have got in both? With Stevie Nicks, yes, right?
Yeah, I would have to Google it to be certain, but Paul McCartney, John Lennon.
Who were those guys? Oh, I see
they
your
they
point.
were in Herman's Hermits.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, Paul McCartney made a little coin in the business, did all right for himself after he left the Beatles.
Did very well.
Mike, what do you think?
I'm gonna say out for that same reason.
And you're not saying out just because season 5 of Emily in Paris wasn't as good as the other seasons, or
I could have more than one reason.
okay. Well, that's interesting. Again, I wish I had heard Rob's thing before I voted, but I guess I want him to be in. Not that I love Phil Collins, but I mean, God, that In the Air Tonight alone with the comeback that they had during COVID, people doing those reaction videos. I mean, I hate that song, but I appreciate it for its greatness of what it is and its long lasting feel for it. So,
Dave, if you want to have a reason to hold on to hope, Phil Collins is reportedly gravely ill.
I know.
And so maybe that generates the sympathy, let's honor him before he dies vote.
Oh, somebody just said that.
Right.
Who was I can't see that, Mike. Who was that who just said that? Yet next year he'll get in posthumously. Somebody just had your sentiments.
That's grim.
J. Yeah. Just exactly what you said. Yeah, he looks really ill. Yeah, it's sad. But Melissa Etheridge, what do I have here? Oh, it's you must have hated that moose. It means I don't care. I just couldn't care less. I have no idea. I don't care for her music. I don't care for her. I can appreciate people that like it. It's not for me. And I think she actually gets in. I'm going to say in. I don't like it. I'm just saying I think they vote her in the first time. People respect her that much. I think, Rob, am I correct?
She is very well regarded. And she writes her own songs. She's been around for a long time. You know, the Rock Hall never gave any guidance to voters on how to determine their vote. And in fact, there was one year, 5 or 6 years ago, I emailed them and said, what am I looking for? You know, because it can't just be my taste. And they said, well, you know, you have to vote who you believe in. They didn't have guidelines. Now they have 4 guidelines. There's excellence, influence, innovation, and impact. And it's certainly not innovation. And I don't even know about influence. I think that, look, when I vote, I err on the side of any musicians of color, women, and gay people, because they almost always lose in these votes. So I'm the sort of person who should be voting for Melissa Etheridge. I didn't, just because I don't have that level of enthusiasm. I think she's one of those where she's going to get in, but not on the first ballot. I think she's a 3rd ballot or 4th ballot inductee. So I say no.
What Erica says, she crawled for Brandi Carlile to slide. What does that mean?
That she paved the way for Brandi Carlile.
Oh, that makes that's true. I agree. That's what I thought it meant, but I wasn't positive, and I thought maybe I just wasn't learning.
She's a significant figure.
But it's at the chat rooms.
She's a significant figure in rock history. There are not a lot of out lesbian singer-songwriters, who can rock.
She's a lesbian? I thought I was doing great with her. Yeah, I mean that reason alone, and certainly I knew she was a lesbian just by that photo. But Mike, what do you think?
How many do we have left?
A lot.
A lot.
Oh, then out.
I don't even know if I've said 7. I don't know how many I've said yes to.
It doesn't matter. I'll get it right over the week, and we'll fix it. We'll fix it in post. But this is so much fun. I love this kind of stuff. And I guess this is why I always lose. I get it wrong. Now, Oasis, again, the Juskow seals approve, like, either vote them in or don't. Stop putting them up there. I have no idea. Rob, this one you're going to have to explain. How are these guys not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Have they just not done enough music because they only made one incredible album? They're so revered.
Yeah. Do we really want to start putting tribute bands in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
What do you mean tribute bands?
That's what this is. This is a Beatles tribute band.
But they write their own stuff.
Sure. All of which sounds like the Beatles. You can every single Oasis song within 4 bars, you can identify which Beatles song it is. Look, I'm glad Oasis exists. I'm glad that lager louts in England have a band that they can call their own. I just don't get the gigantic appeal. I will say, though, I agree with you. It's a little shocking that they aren't in because, again, the Rock Hall loves a rock and roll band. They need big rock and roll bands to anchor not just the ticket sales for the performance, but also the TV broadcast. So I'm surprised they haven't gotten in already, and I'm going to say they get in this year.
I'm going to say that too, because like what you're saying with the TV broadcast, and now they're touring again and they're back. They're going to show up.
Sure. Maybe they'll be late and they'll fight. I mean, what spectacle! This is a great spectacle.
Yeah. Mike, it's just JC that says I'll pass, right?
Yeah.
No, okay, cool. Mike, what do you think?
I'm in, I guess.
You could not sound less enthusiastic.
I don't care for them that much, really, but I think that people are going to get voted in regardless. Just
all right, that's 3 ins. Blur 1, Oasis blow. Lauryn Hill, just got seal approving again. You must have hated that music. I don't care. I know she's so respected. I'm gonna say in because she is like the most respected. That what is it? The Miseducation. That's her, right?
Yes. I believe
whatever.
It's the
I mean, that's supposed to be one of the greatest albums of all time, right?
Best-selling rap album of all time, if I'm not wrong.
How did she not get in then?
Well, she hasn't done a whole lot lately. She's notorious for being late to her shows, right? That's the ongoing gag. If you observe a Rock Hall conversation, there's let's induct Lauryn Hill in 2026. She'll show up for the ceremony in 2028 because her shows always start late. I am going to say she gets in. I voted for her.
Mike, what do you think? Are we gonna make it a sweep?
Yeah, I'll say she's in.
And we didn't even mention the Fugees.
Oh, right. She used to be in the Fugees, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now are the Fugees in?
I don't think so.
Okay, so then she wouldn't be one of those elite. Yeah, well, exactly. It's just not rock. That's the problem, JC. It's like a lot of, what we're going to see is more just not rock. That's what they've been letting in lately. Okay, this band, when I'm sitting here going, just was like, come on, people. I'm serious. They've got to get in. I fucking love this band. Michael Hutchence was the coolest guy. His death was fucking rock and roll. He tried to kill himself while masturbating. Come on, that's fucking hot. Or maybe over a woman. It's all good. Their songs are good. He was the coolest of cool. I want INXS in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It kills me that he's not going to be there to perform, but they're great. I mean, Rob, what do you think?
I went to Czechoslovakia with INXS when they were big for a Rolling Stone feature. And I will tell you that as much as you may have found Michael Hutchence to be gorgeous, he was more gorgeous in person. He was the most gorgeous man I've ever seen up close. and
That's what I was
magnetic.
going to say, but I didn't want you to get upset.
Not
He was
upset.
so gorgeous. That's why I saw that movie. What was it called? Dogs in Space?
Yes. Yeah, and
Right? I would
Dogs
see
in
any
Space. Dogs in Space is really characteristic of Michael, because even though he was a rock star and INXS had a lot of success, his heart was really in alternative independent culture. And I think that if he had lived, he probably would have done more Dogs in Space type films.
Yeah.
One of the weirder experiences of my professional life, can I tell you about it? Because it involves INXS.
Please. Yes.
So it's about 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm in his hotel room. We're in Prague. I'm interviewing him, and there's a disturbance in the hallway. A band member, I will not say who, had a little trouble with a prostitute who was working in the hotel. He paid her to have sex with her, but he was so drunk that he couldn't get an erection. And so she took the money and left, and he, with his half-hard dick, chased her down the hallway trying to get his money back. Until
Been there.
somehow this
Been there.
involved Michael. Michael was this. I mean, who hasn't been? So this band member said to me the next morning at breakfast, I know you know what happened last night, and I want you to understand that if it goes into the story, I'll have your legs broken.
Oh, what an asshole.
And there was a tour manager who I'd gotten to know a little bit. And I said, look, I'm not going to put it in the story, but is that for real? He shrugged. He said, they know some guys in Chicago. So that was enough for me.
All right, now tell us who it is. Fuck him.
I'll tell you off the air.
Now he doesn't deserve to be in. Shit, that's a great story. I love that you hung out with them. I knew Michael Hutchence was gorgeous. I used to do, when I first started doing comedy, I used to do an INXS bit, and I used to, in fact, it was legendary for my friends that I could tell, and everybody, they always remember. I used to say that Michael Hutchence could make anything sexy, so I would do like, it was a fat guy. He could do make a fat guy eating McDonald's sexy, and be like, look at the fat guy eating all of those fries, 3/4 pounders and a hot apple pie. Look at him go, look at him eat, makes you wonder how he sees his own feet. I used to do that on stage all the time.
That's great. It was fascinating to me to see the effect that he had, not even on women. You would expect that. The effect he had on straight men was just like,
was...
you know, I've always thought that I was straight, but maybe I'm not. What if I've been living a lie?
For me, I think it was one of those things where he was so gorgeous that, you know, the way I was thinking was, I was just like, that's who I want to be in my next life. You know, just the way he moves, his look, his voice, his sexiness. It's just, you know, it's hot. Like, you know, even if you're not gay, you get it. You know.
Absolutely.
So what are they in or out?
I say no.
No.
He's not around.
Yeah, because without Michael Hutchence,
and
that's the problem.
They've tarnished the brand a little bit, Dave, by the reality show, Finding.
Yeah, the reality show. I was going to say that, and I guess I'm just going in because I'm thinking of Michael Hutchence. That's why I put the picture. They tarnished the brand. You're absolutely right. They tarnished the brand. I probably should have said out, but I want them in. Mike, what do you think?
I'll just say out. I just don't think they're going to vote them in.
Yeah, that reality show, Rob, that was just, they ruined it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And was it Ted with the podcast? I pulled it. I'm working it out. It's a whole nother thing. I'll explain on my regular show when I get it back. I'll get it back. If you join Patreon, it's all explained. I'm not telling you have to join, but I'm trying to work things out. So,
but by the way,
anyway,
I
Iron Maiden.
Dave, I think you'll like this. Sorry, a comment from Jay Santiago. I never should have lent Hutchence my belt.
Oh, yeah, I guess, exactly. But he was it's that what's it called, the asphyxiation? Like he was trying to like jerk off or something, right? That was
Auto asphyxiation.
audio
It's
asphyxiation, right? Yeah.
it's disputed how he died. I think that the family has one explanation, and the coroner had another one. I
Right.
think the family doesn't believe that he. I don't want to misattribute it. There are some people who think he just flat out killed himself, and some people who think it was just a horrible accident.
Well, that's
I
the
don't know
thing
that
too.
it's ever.
I think he killed himself over a girl, which is incredible if that's the case. That's what I had heard.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is Iron Maiden, but it's not. It's Spinal Tap. They just look exactly as you can see. These go to 11. It's the reason why I put in. Yeah, the pick is Spinal Tap. Mute 2321 is because the kind of the real picture of Iron Maiden looks like Spinal Tap. So that's why I put it in. And again, I got no. It's their third time in. I think if it was their first, I think I put in, but third, I'm gonna go out. If they haven't made it yet, I'm gonna say out. I don't know, Rob. What do you think?
That's completely reasonable. This is the third year in a row that I have voted for them, and I don't even like Iron Maiden. But as a matter of principle, there need to be more metal bands in the Rock Hall. Like, what's more rock and roll than metal? So if you're not putting Iron Maiden in, like I want Iron Maiden to get in so that maybe down the line Motorhead can get in.
Yeah. Well, what do you think this year?
I'm going to say they get in.
Oh.
I think they finally break the jinx. I think enough people say, all right, I don't like heavy metal, but this is one of the best metal bands, so let's do it.
I like what you're saying, and it is, and they're legendary, and everything about them is metal, and all the ones that came after them owe a debt of gratitude to these guys too. Weeks like saying they are legends, but I couldn't tell you one song they released. Me too. Mike, what do you think?
I'll say in. I think I've said it in the last 2 years too. So.
I know.
Eventually, you'll be right.
Yeah, that's why I'm giving up this year. Right? Then we have New Edition, which I'm like, really? But popcorn love. I mean, this just doesn't add up at all. That years ago we would have been out of control with them being nominated because they're clearly not rock and roll. But over the years, I have calmed down because we know it just doesn't work that way anymore. I'm going to say out because I don't think they have the work to suffice to be in the Hall of Fame. Rob, what do you think?
Well, I think that in the same way that the Rock Hall nominated Joy Division / New Order, New Edition, it probably would have been better if they had nominated New Edition, Belle Biv DeVoe, and Bobby Brown together, because that's the legacy. New Edition was Candy Girl, right? It's cute Candy pop girl. Songs.
Oh my love, I need you each and every day.
Imitation Jackson 5 stuff, high quality, but imitation Jackson 5 stuff.
Totally.
And then
so
the band, the band broke up, and there were lots of hit records that came even from Ralph Tresvant. But I'm going to say no. I don't think so. And I think it was a mistake of the Hall to not emphasize the post New Edition careers that these guys had.
Agreed. Just like you said with Joy Division, I like what you're saying. Mike, what the chat room, is it all out, or was there anybody that said in?
Pretty much all out. Although one person wanted to know what Mario Bosco thought.
Yeah, why'd you tell him to shut up? I'll cut you. Mario Bosco. Well done. Mike, what do you think on New Edition?
I think they're out. I mean, they're out.
Oh, that's good stuff. Okay, and here's Pink. The Juskow seal of approval says, "Yeah, I'm serious. She should be in. She's cool. I think she's rock and roll. She writes really good songs, and she's fucking cool. And that's rock and roll." Rob, do you agree or disagree on that?
Let me ask you, because I'm going to give you a pop quiz, literally, because I think the answer may surprise you. It shocked me. How many songs has Pink had in the top 40?
I want to say at least 10.
23.
Oh,
including
wow.
four number ones. She writes her own songs.
Yeah, I mean, I know she writes hits. Off. She writes fun fucking songs. 23.
I voted for her.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
She writes rock songs and she writes slower ones. She's really talented. And then she's a good live performer as well.
Yes. Right. So I voted
what do you
for
think?
her. She was one of my 7 votes, yeah. I think she gets in. I think, and maybe she even drains off some of the Mariah Carey votes, where people compare the two of them.
I'm so glad you think she gets in. I really want her to get in. I feel very strongly about this one.
I do too.
Mike, what is the chat room saying?
In, looks like, for the most part.
What about you?
In.
I think that's our first sweep. Yeah,
yeah.
Pink is fucking cool. She is way cool. I like her. Yeah. All right. Sade, again, I mean, what are we doing? If this is her second time, again, she's not rock at all. I mean, I only know her first album. She made a splash, and I'm going to say out. I'm just going to instantly say out, but unless Rob has a different view on this.
Well, first of all, I voted for her. She was one of my 7 votes. And, was probably the third one that became clear to me. Sade, well, it's the singer's name, but also the name of the band. Sade has never made a bad record. All of the records are great. Now, are they all the same? Sort of. But you know what Neil Young said, right?
Like
it's
the
all
Ramones.
the same song. Right.
Did you just say the Ramones? That's what I just said.
No, I said Neil Young.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say the Ramones, the theory that they've never made a bad album, but all the songs are the same. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a great song. So why do you need to reinvent the wheel? It's like saying every time I buy a car, it has 4 wheels. Okay. Maybe that's not the best metaphor. I take it back.
What do you think? You think she'll get in on a second try?
I think I have to say no. I think she is widely perceived as kind of a lightweight. I don't think people know whether or not she writes her own music or
that's true too.
Whether she's the product of a male producer, which she isn't. Great songwriter, great singer, very good live performer, has never brought embarrassment or shame on herself. And I hope she'll get in one day, but I'm not counting on it this year.
Mike, what do you think?
Out.
And what does the chat room say? Have they said anything?
They said out.
They said out. All right. Move on. Few left. Shakira. What is the Juskow seal of approval? He says, "Oh, she's so hot. I want her in. However, I think she's out, but I want her in because she's so sexy, and I want her to be on the show. But I have to say out. She's not right." Rob, what do you think?
I think she's in a similar category to Sade. People don't understand exactly how creative she is and how much control she has over her own career. Not only does she write her own songs, she writes them in multiple languages.
Oh, that's true.
I remember when the first record came out, there was somebody I knew who was making fun of her English lyrics, or her first English album, was making fun of her English lyrics. And I said, she's been speaking English for 4 months, and she wrote hit songs in a language that she barely knew. She probably in 4 months speaks English better than you do. So why are you making fun of her? Spanish is one of her native languages.
Who the hell would make fun of somebody this hot?
Great. Somebody was jealous. Great performer, fantastic looking, strong, enduring career, but I don't think she gets in, and I think that's a mistake. I think voters will underrate her.
Yeah, she's not. I agree. She's not Rock and Roll Hall of Fame material, but she's so talented and cool.
And she's lovely too. I've interviewed her a couple of times.
Mike, what do you think?
I'm going to say in just to be a wild card.
Mike? Oh, smart.
I'm going to say in just to be a wild card.
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay.
She's so pretty.
Are you hoping that she's watching?
Maybe. I've always felt maybe there's a chance for us. I don't know why. She's like older, so I don't know.
She's older than you?
This guy, I mean, no, but she's older, which I don't know. Maybe she might like a guy like me. Anyway, Luther Vandross. I mean, I think he's really talented. I always liked his music, but Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I don't know. Rob, you go first this time because I don't know what to do.
Well, as for my vote, you put a gay black man with a weight problem on the ballot, and he is getting my vote very quickly.
He was gay?
Yes.
I really didn't know.
Yes, he was.
Oh.
And he worked with Bowie, right? The Plastic Soul period, the Philly Soul fame and stuff like that.
No, I didn't know.
Luther was, I believe, his vocal arranger. So he was a producer. He produced Aretha Franklin. Wow. He had a tremendous amount of ability. People mostly know 1 or 2 songs of his, unless they're big fans, in which case they know the whole catalog. He inspires that kind of devotion in people. Just one of the greatest singers of all time, also a solid songwriter and producer, but I think he's not going to get in.
Oh, I didn't see you coming there. I thought you would.
Well, in case it isn't clear,
I'm going to say in.
Okay.
From just your information.
Good.
I'm going to go in.
I hope so.
Mike, what do you think?
I think in.
I don't have that category.
Wait, what?
Did you just say I think gay, right?
No, I said I think in.
Oh, I thought you said I think gay.
No.
Oh, I thought you were doing a gag, and I'm like, I don't have that category.
No.
All right, and these guys say out. That's hilarious. The Wu-Tang Clan. Wait a minute. There's Old Dirty Bastard, but that's New Edition. So I said the Wu-Tang Clan. When they grew up, they became the Wu-Tang Clan. Then they should be in, because that would be incredible. But no, here they are. And the Juskow seal of approval again. How are these guys rock and roll? But I think I have to say in, because they're so well respected. And like you said, with Belle Biv DeVoe and those guys coming out of there and all the people that have come out, I think I would have to say in. I don't know. I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this, Rob.
Apart from the fact that they didn't play guitars, there is no one on this list who is more rock and roll than the Wu-Tang Clan. Not the Black Crowes, not New Edition, not even Billy Idol. These guys did. Look, what do you define as rock and roll? Is it playing guitar and sounding like Chuck Berry? Or is it doing whatever the fuck you want in your own style until people eventually accept you and you are proven right? This is, an incredibly creative group of guys from Staten Island, and they grew into different branches, or they sprouted into different branches. I think they deserve to get in. I voted for them, and I think they will get in, because I think the tide is turning a little bit, where voters start to understand that rap is rock and roll. And also, let me mention one other factor, and this is something that I do consider when I'm predicting who will or won't get in. The voters are dying off, right? If you are in the Rock Hall, you are a voter for the rest of your life. But then when you die, you're not voting anymore. So the voters get, it's not quite that they get younger every year because they stay the same median age, but the older voters die off and you get a new slate of younger voters. And I think to a new generation of voters, it makes more sense that the Wu-Tang Clan is rock and roll.
Yep. You make a lot of goddamn sense. Mike, what do you think?
I'm gonna go out.
He's gonna go out. What does the chat room say?
I don't think I even actually said yes. They said yes.
Yeah, I noticed they didn't say anything. What do you say? Yes?
I think they're saying yes overall. They're not saying no. They're kind of disagreeing.
Anyway, those are our picks for the 2026 nominees. I think they're probably going to be announced next week. They always say sometime in April. That's why we needed to do the show, even though I'm in a hotel room and it is almost Pesach. And JC says, yes, we are saying yes. And Rob, that was an amazing commentary on most of that, or all of those things. It's really great. You set me straight in a couple of ways. It's very fascinating to know how people will vote, or, the strategy, which is why you won last year. And I just get the feeling you might go for the repeat.
Can I briefly mention,
go for the three-peat?
Can I briefly mention for context?
No, we're running out of time. Goodbye.
Three bands that are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I'm just kidding.
And I have a list of 25 of them. Motorhead, Outkast, Television. Plus Chic, Sinead O'Connor, the B-52s, Husker Du, Bad Brains, Dionne fucking Warwick. Come on. There's so many more people who need to be in the Rock Hall.
Oh, who need to be? Wait, the B-52s aren't in?
No.
They're incredible.
And they had one of the most innovative guitarists who's ever lived, Ricky Wilson. I mean, I could keep going.
Early?
He did. Yeah, he died of AIDS.
Yeah.
I can keep going with people who aren't in the Rock Hall. The Replacements, Motley Crue, Buzzcocks.
The Replacements, Paul Westerberg.
Right?
Oh,
Dead
so
Kennedys, Mott the Hoople, Bad Brains, the New York
Mott
Dolls.
the Hoople's not in?
The New York Dolls. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Are you kidding me that the New York Dolls are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? What are we even doing?
Wow. So who decides? What committee is it that makes the nominations?
Well, it's literally called the nominating committee.
Men Without Hats, good one.
I probably would vote for Men Without Hats. That's what an 80s guy I am. There is a nominating committee.
Way to go, Big W.
They meet once a year and hash out who's going to go on the ballot and who isn't. If there is a band that you are particularly avid about, you get to stand up and make your presentation, your argument for why they should be nominated. But the first layer of approval has to be the nominating committee. Voters like me can't vote for anyone unless the nominating committee puts them on the ballot.
Of course. The B-52, I mean, you've made a lot of good points, but the B-52s not even being, have they been nominated before? We'll have to check.
So.
I mean, I got to meet Kate Pearson a couple years ago. She came to a show I was doing. It was such a dream come true.
Mhm.
Those guys are so talented at the way, I mean, just what they were doing, and to bring in that, what would you call it? It's not punk, it's not alternative. What was it?
I mean, it was dance music. It was new wave, but it was dance.
You think
music.
it's considered punk?
No,
New wave, right. But then the fact that they, you know, those kind of bands that start as something and then they tweak just a tiny bit, like U2. Even I always use the Octung Baby as an example of how they maintain. They were one thing before that album. They tweak just enough to keep their sound and go into the future. And that's what the B-52s did. And when you're a band that does that matures, by just a little bit changing to how are you not in? That's insane.
Yeah, it is.
When you figure it out, when you're not giving us the same stuff all the time, when you're not Sadeing it or Neil Younging it, and you're able to be yourselves, but then go just a tiny bit of a different direction and still make a splash. It's really incredible. And
they didn't sound like anyone else.
Really.
They didn't sound like anyone else. They didn't look like anyone else. Their music has aged incredibly well, and
they were a real band, and a mixed true band where, well, like Fleetwood Mac, where sometimes the girls sing, sometimes the boys sing, and a real band.
Well, I do have to correct you. Fred didn't really sing.
Fred Schneider.
Fred talked. Fred intoned.
Well, right, but Stevie Nicks is like that in a way too, right? I mean, it's like, if we didn't know her sound, would we call her the greatest singer? She's not Mariah Carey, but we like it anyway. And when they have a style, that like Fred Schneider's just sitting here like, I've got a monster in my pants, and he does a little dance. I know that's a solo thing, but we like it anyway, and that's a miracle.
Yep.
Me too. Well, Rob, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining us today on this little show. And well, I guess probably in 2 weeks we'll have the results. You can come on again if you want. We can go over it and see what happened. You're a lovely guest, so I wouldn't mind having you back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That'll be great. And thank you, everybody in the
I think the main thing to take away for people who've been watching is that you and I both would have had sex with Michael Hutchence.
Oh my God. That would have been the guy. That would have been the guy. Yep. I would have had to question everything. It would have been like a Family Guy episode where like, nobody will know about this, right? I mean, Jesus Christ. So I'll tell you, Dean, just if you, again, with my podcast, I'll let everybody know what's happening. Nothing yet. I'm trying to work it out. I'm going to have a new podcast start soon. Anyway, Rob, thank you so much. You guys, the chat were incredible. Start off slow and just everybody grab that was great. Thank you so much for playing our game and having a good time. And Rob, I can't thank you for coming and doing it. Thank you very much. And thank you guys. And we'll see you probably, I guess, in 2 weeks. And everything will be great. Be like the whole thing never happened. Good night.